Glad to have you on Business Glide, your only point of call on matters, public policy analysis, business, and economics at large. I'm your resident economist, Richard Mwanja. Welcome on board. And here now is the think tank to help me, who's going to help me bring the day's conversation home, Professor Herman Manyora. Prof, great to see you.
Thank you.
It's been a while since we did Business Glide. I'm so glad that you're here.
Yeah. Let's do business.
You're saying that you are a bigger boy than those World Bank boys in the name of economists.
They don't know anything.
They don't know anything. So let's see if you know something about development in this country, and more particularly,
Go ahead.
balanced regional development in this country.
Go ahead.
We're at a time whereby many are wondering, what is this magic happening in Murang'a County that we're not seeing Vihiga County or Trans Nzoia County or this or that county or even Mandera say? IRUNGU KANG'ATA seems to be stealing the thunder when it comes to development from other governors. And we want to understand, Prof, is it that this governor is having a special budget that is not disclosed? What is the missing link that you are talking of Vihiga being a dirty, poor, third world county in this country, yet Murang'a is shining up there? What is the missing link?
Even the so-called Murang'a shining, it is not shining only to a small extent.
Oh, really?
To begin with, the money given to a county is very little. I have been a member of a county body, and I know. Vihiga County gets about 4 billion shillings. What can you do with 4 billion shillings? And most of it goes to pay recurrent expenditures. A county that can do development will be very careful about hiring people. How much they spend on recurrent expenditure, which is mainly salaries. You must begin there. There are counties that are doing well. I don't know about Murang'a in terms of setting aside some reasonable amount of money for development. But many counties have broken the law. They barely set aside 10% or 15%. They are supposed to do at least 35-30% of development. But they spend everything on salaries. So maybe the beginning point might be to find out how much Murang'a spends on the current. That's the beginning. Maybe they have tried to stick within the guidelines and actually the law so that they don't go beyond 70 or 65%. That might be the beginning point. Secondly, a governor ought to have an idea of what he wants for the county. A lot of these people are just busybodies. You have some little money, you campaign, you become governor, but you have no idea. You have no vision. So it must be the case that Murang'a has a governor who has a vision for the county. He wants to see something done in the county. There are also issues of experience. Issues of?
Experience.
Which is knowledge. If you look at the first governors, those who had experience from their earlier life, unless they were stupid thieves, look at Oparanya. Because he had even been a minister in charge of planning. Yeah. He brought that experience to Kakamega, and I'm telling you, Kakamega was, he did a job very few counties would do. In fact, what he did, even the current governor can only imagine. He can't get anywhere near. He can't scratch
the surface.
Because Oparanya knew how government works, having been minister in charge of planning and other things before that, and his own training as an established accountant and what have you. So, you know. So IRUNGU KANG'ATA also is a person who is knowledgeable. He has books in his head. He has experience in governance, having started as an MCA.
Yeah, sure.
Not because he hadn't gone to school. This is a PhD holder. So he has all those factors working for him. But even if you have all those factors and your greed is a typical Kenyan greed, you will eat instead of development. So I want to assume, I don't know about Murang'a, but I want to assume if it is true what you are saying, Murang'a is doing well, then it must be the case that IRUNGU KANG'ATA is able to tame his appetite for stealing. He's able to tame his greed, and I can guess why.
Why? Tell us.
People like IRUNGU KANG'ATA, and there are not many people in this country, have their eyes on bigger things.
Higher ideals?
Yes, higher things, higher positions. So if you are thinking big, if you are looking mbele, then you not go for small things and steal all over the place. All there are people who have a dream to see things work. When you move around, you just want to be happy that this thing is working. There are people like those. So IRUNGU KANG'ATA could be also that.
You've said as much for Kiaru Member of Parliament Ndindi Nyoro.
Yes.
That when seeing development within his constituency,
yes,
it is because he's eyeing something
bigger than sometimes like that. Sometimes that's the reason. And I would be surprised if Ndini Nyoro or Irungu Kang'ata did not aim higher than this.
Do you think...
And somebody like Irungu Kang'ata is getting to a position where he's a very attractive running mate. If you are looking for a running mate and you are a serious presidential candidate, even in 2027.
But he missed out the other day and Kindiki was given the same.
You miss today, tomorrow you get. And he's running, he had not run Murang'a County. Now he has run it and people can see. In 2027, ameiva. 2032, ameiva zaidi, where he can even stand himself.
Bibi harusi mwenyewe.
Yeah. So people like those, Ndini Nyoro, I'm not surprised, Ndini Nyoro, Irungu Kang'ata, they have their eyes on bigger things. But hizi wengine wanaingia na kuanza kuiba tu na kukula tu, hajui hata kesho nini ni.
I am concerned why you have not dropped in the conversation your governor Otichilo.
Yeah.
How comes you don't talk?
Otichilo is a good governor. He does everything he can to uplift the county. Unfortunately, it's not. I'm not very impressed.
Do you think now the silver bullet lies in these devolved units of government, perhaps probably fully tapping into the potential of their own source revenue streams, just so to have that self-sufficiency instead of relying on the exchequer?
On envelope is not easy for counties. The historical, if you look at the historical aspect, how did the county councils, municipalities, how did they raise money? They raise money through harassing Kenyans, through taxes, through
Fines,
licenses, through all manner of things. You can't do that in today's world.
A finance bill for every county.
You must create an environment for business to thrive. You don't do that by harassing people, even hawkers. Wakiona kanjo inakuja speed. So then counties must figure out what are the other ways of raising revenue. And this is where we are slow. Apart from counties that have natural resources, you know, Masai Mara, you know, so we are talking about Narok County. It has unlimited.
Mombasa, maybe.
You know, Mombasa, Beat, and so on. Apart from those ones, those with Zabo National Park and what have you. I think Zabo was given to the county a few years ago, like Mara. So, apart from those ones, and those ones reach in certain products where cess brings in sufficient money, we have to figure out how can a poor country like Vihiga generate revenue of its own? Of course, how? I'm not saying it's not possible. It calls for figuring out. But the truth is, with 4 or 5 billion shillings, spend 70%, 75%, 80% of that on salaries and other recurrent expenditure. What is left? Can't do anything. But the bigger thing to aim for will be to reorganize devolution so that we have bigger units, viable units. If you ask me, without regional governments, we are wasting time.
Without regional governments, you're wasting time?
We need regional governments. We need to have about 10, max 14 governors in this country. Viable units. So that a number of these counties would constitute one region with one governor. I know they resist it. They will be as parochial and as stupid as Africans are doing, refusing to unite as Africa. A taxi man gave me a lift. These people you see small, people you think they are small, but they can think. A guy gave me a lift. By the time we got here, I was saying, I told him, who are you? I've forgotten the name. It's so bad I've forgotten the name. It's a pastor. Pastor. Oh, God. I wish I could remember the name.
But what were his concerns?
He was saying, if Africa united and we had one note moja, America will come kneeling to us.
Single currency.
Yes. One note. You see?
Opening up trade and everything else.
So in the same manner, Africans are so petty. We want to remain as Kenya and Uganda and open ourselves to exploitation from the West. Yet uniting even as regional blocks is enough to chase poverty out of our region We can't. So the same is resisted, would be resisted by counties. You'll hear very stupid arguments. Why the truth is, if all the counties in the Western became a region, all of them, from Trans Nzoia to Vihiga, 5 of them, become one region, for example. I'm putting the Luyas together, unfortunately. It can be a very viable region. It can be economically viable. And the governor can bring about development and changes in the region. But these small things, Kiambu, Murang'a, Nyeri, no. Imagine all that region from Kiambu to Nyeri, Kirinyaga, all those.
Central province.
Yeah, Nyandarua, then whatever, one region. You can imagine how much development they would do. And there will be checks and balances because there will be a regional assembly made up of regional senators. You understand?
I get it.
Yeah.
Prof, I want to understand something here. So then again, how do you explain the sort of low development report from northern frontier regions, much as they are having a heavy donor presence in those particular counties, and even funds dispersed there are quite up from other counties? Why are we still reporting less in terms of development from those
history
regions?
Again? When people are used to living the life they are living, it's very difficult to change. It's very difficult. They think life there is okay, the way things are. But also the challenges you face in trying to develop that area are also not simple. They are not easy. The challenges of doing a road in some of those places is not the same challenge as doing a road in Nyeri.
Mandera to Ramu Road, not as easy
it's
as
not
doing
easy.
one
The
in
challenges
Kirinyaga?
are, even the weather itself, the climate is so harsh. There are certain things you can easily do in let's say in Siaya that to do in Mandera will be very challenging. So then there is also the sad part,
Which
which is that most leaders from Northeastern, they are the ones putting up all these skyscrapers in Sili. That's the truth. We have to tell the people of Northeastern. You have to tell off your leaders. Because they are the ones who are getting all the money and coming to invest in Nairobi.
Instead of doing
That's
the
the
same in
truth.
Wajir.
And living good life in Nairobi. Just like South Sudan. People in South Sudan are suffering and Sudanese people in Nairobi are shining. With golden teeth and the right. Patronizing the best coffee places in Nairobi. And their country is suffering. So Northeastern people, they must also stop. They must try to develop their area and not focus so much on investing in Nairobi in terms of skyscrapers and those manner of businesses. Yeah.
All right, we're going to flip over this conversation to our next edition of Business Glide. Stay tuned to this particular channel. We really count on your support and your patronage in many, many ways. Time now for our fan of the week. It is none other than this gentleman who served here with us as part of the company. That is Simon Irungu.
Simon Irungu. Wonderful man. He must come back to the company.
He should.
He should.
All right, until we get to this again, do enjoy the rest of your viewing. Up next on your screen is the Business Glide African Proverb of the Day.